The Orioles getting ready to face the Red Sox in the first of three, joined now by Brittany Ghiroli from MLB.com. And Britt, let's talk a little bit about the Orioles' injuries. Give us an update, please.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff going on with them right now, Tom. Obviously, Steph Smith is a guy who they hope to have back sooner rather than later. He's going to test his hamstring today. They really can't afford to keep playing down a guy right now, so they hope that things go well. They've gotten so desperate that they've thought about having Joey Rickard be activated, even though his thumb's still bothering him. He's still dealing with a little soreness. They thought maybe they should activate him just to have another guy for a bench spot, just to have a little defense, a guy who can throw. But then the danger with that, of course, is him re-injuring that finger and dealing with a lengthier time of absence. So they really need Seth Smith to feel better. They really need him back available because they don't have anybody on that 40-man roster right now, position player-wise, who's not hurt or already with the Major League team, Tom. So they've got some interesting things going on. And then, of course, pitching-wise, they hope to have the results from Zach Britton's MRI at some point later today. Though Zach Britton isn't concerned, Orioles manager Buck Showalter said yesterday in the dugout Britton was ready to throw. He was ready to get into a game now. He is very excited, very much chomping at the bit to get back. They aren't expecting any big news with that MRI.
Now, Britt, obviously we know that a fifth starter for the Orioles wasn't needed until last April the 15th. And now, what's the situation with a fifth starter going forward?
Yeah, they don't need one till May, which is really interesting. So they're going to play with the roster like they always like to do. They're going to do some interesting things, and they don't have to rush Chris Tillman, which is a good thing. If he's not feeling right, he might need another rehab start. He's pitching tomorrow night, his second affiliate start, but there's no rush. And it's interesting because they've been pitching so well that now you only have 4 spots if they want. Now they're kind of in a situation, well, what do? Who earns these spots? It's becoming harder and harder to crack through the Orioles starting rotation, which are not things that this spring you thought you'd have to say.
Now, Alec Asher started last week for the Orioles, and Jason Aquino is going to start this week. The Orioles' starting depth in the rotation, is it better than a year ago?
I think so. I mean, you look at it, Tom, you look at guys on that depth chart who aren't even in their plans right now. You look at Mike Gray, you look at Tyler Wilson, who's being considered a reliever, and how far this organization has come, and that those guys aren't really on their agenda right now. They've got so many guys ahead of them who've leapfrogged ahead of them. Then, of course, you've got Wade Miley, Ubaldo Jimenez pitching like they did the last 2 nights, coupled with Dylan Bundy, and then hopefully Kevin Gossman gets back on track. You add in Chris Tillman. All of a sudden, it's looking like starting pitching could be a strength for the Orioles, which again, there's such a maligned rotation, but if they can get outings like they got this week in Cincinnati from Ubaldo Jimenez, from Wade Miley, they could be a very, very dangerous team because we know how good that bullpen is. We know how good the lineup is. What we don't know, what we're never too sure about, is what we're going to get out of this rotation. And if they continue pitching like this, starting pitching and depth of their starting pitching could be a strength for the Orioles.
Got to give Dan Duquette a lot of credit. How about with all the acquisitions for pitchers he's made in the last year?
Exactly. So. Jason Aquino, Alec Asher. I mean, we're kind of teasing Dan Duquette when we saw him last. Are you going to make another trade? Are you going to add another pitcher? But everything that they've done with purpose, and it's certainly worked out so far.
Well, congratulations on your promotion. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'll be doing some national stuff, not as much on the road with the Orioles, but still here at all the home games. So hopefully the Orioles stay relevant on a national basis. Obviously, Tom, it makes things a little bit easier for me.
Congratulations. Brittany Ghiroli from MLB.com, covering the Orioles on a regular basis.